Greetings, everyone. Since WCAIS went live in 2013, its appearance in terms of spacing and coloring and functionality have remained pretty much the same for a lot of reasons, some very technical and some just practical. The appearance of WCAIS will be changing over the coming months, we feel, for the better. We want to assure you that all of the functionality that has been developed and will continue to develop through enhancements and improvements will remain the same. So whether you're filing petitions or answers, making requests, uploading evidence, filing briefs, communicating to the judge or his or her staff, all of that will remain the same. So don't panic. Certainly, if you have any questions, the BWC Helpline is available. The WCOA Resource Center is excellent in answering questions, as I know you guys all know. I don't have to stress to you how important WCAIS is. If you didn't know that now and don't appreciate how it got us through the pandemic, then you probably never will. So I've always urged lawyers themselves, as well as their staff, to be somewhat conversant in the language of WCAIS. Retired Judge Ken Walsh once said something to me when I first became the director that struck home. He said, WCAIS is the language by which you communicate to the court. We don't expect attorneys to be absolutely fluent in the language, but you should have some basic command of the language. So please do that. Continue to develop your skills in WCAIS. We believe that the digital transformation that you're going to be getting some instruction about will help WCAIS be even more functional for you. With that, I'll pass the mic to Chairman Frioni, who has a few words for you also.
Thank you. As Director Dorita stated, I am Al Frioni, Commissioner and Chairman of the Workers' Compensation Appeal Board. Today's training will orient you to the new look and feel of the WCAIS screens, which have undergone digital transformation. In 2020, the WCAIS Digital Transformation Project began with the goal of updating the technology platform of WCAIS and improving the user experience. This project is continuing with more screens being transformed to the new platform. We are confident that you will find it easier and quicker to navigate the updated screens. The Digital Transformation Project will eventually be completed for all WCAIS screens. We hope your experience with these screens will leave you excited for the remainder of the transformation. I will now turn it over to the WCAIS training team.
First, I will provide an overview of digital transformation. We will then do a deep dive on a few of the impacted screens to showcase the new user experience. To conclude, we will review important reminders and next steps. Up first is the digital transformation overview. When the digitally transformed screens go live, only certain screens will have a different look and feel. The rest of the screens in WCAIS will remain unchanged. The impacted sections include entry of appearance, healthcare services, and correspondences. The steps used to complete your WCAIS activities will not be changed. However, the screen design is now updated. The digitally transformed screens will primarily be accessed through specific items in the WCAIS menu. Most of the links on the dashboard will continue to navigate to screens as they currently display. There are new screen functions, buttons, and icons that will be universal across all digitally transformed screens. We will show these during our deep dive later in this session. At the top of each screen, you will see a green button that will allow you to expand or collapse the WCAIS menu. Additionally, the Enhanced Search section will continue to be available. Currently, a green Go button would be pressed to use Enhanced Search. Now you can enter information and then press the magnifying glass icon. Furthermore, you will have a drop-down menu to log out and a question icon to access the Customer Service Center. Buttons are now colored to indicate the type of response you can expect when it is pressed. They are also located strategically to make tasks more intuitive to complete. A blue arrow button will now display in the bottom right when you scroll to the bottom of a screen. Pressing this button will automatically scroll you to the top of the screen. Certain processes will display a progress bar, which will show which sections have been completed, which section you are currently on, or which sections are not yet started. The use of icons will increase to allow users to quickly view a screen and select a correct action. Using the List of Attorneys screen, let's take a look at some of the functions which will be available on all digitally transformed screens. Notice that some overall layout changes have been made. The WCAIS menu is now located on the left-hand side, so it can be accessed anytime while scrolling through a screen. If you wish to collapse the menu, the green button with 3 lines in the upper left will allow you to collapse the menu so only the icons are visible. Moving across the top of the screen, the WCAIS logo can now be pressed to navigate back to the WCAIS dashboard. The arrow next to the user's name can be selected to log out of WCAIS, and additionally, the Customer Service Center can be accessed by pressing the question mark icon in the upper right. As Internet Explorer is no longer supported by Microsoft, using a different internet browser will allow for optimal performance of the WCAIS application, particularly the new digitally transformed screens. When accessing WCAIS, please use either Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Mozilla Firefox. Due to the flexible design that will adjust to your browser size, you may find it beneficial to zoom in or out on digitally transformed screens to be able to see more information on the screen. Also, this would allow you to increase the font size for easier reading. There are various ways to zoom in or out, but a few options include pressing the Control key and then the plus or minus key on a PC. Similarly, on an Apple keyboard, you may press the Command key and a plus or minus key. Another option to adjust the zoom is to access the browser settings. Press the 3 dots in the upper right corner of the browser to display the settings menu. Then use the Zoom menu item. At this time, we will go through some of the digitally transformed screens. On this slide, you can see the current design of the Request for Entry of Appearance screen. The steps required for this process will not change, only the look and feel. The Entry of Appearance process will continue to be accessed by navigating from the WCAIS menu bar to My Matters, and then Request for Entry of Appearance. When you access the newly designed Request for Entry of Appearance, you will begin by selecting the party on whose behalf you are entering your appearance. Do so by pressing the arrow in the drop-down menu. Then, an additional drop-down will display to allow you to indicate the type of criteria you wish to use to identify the claim. Once a criteria type is selected, those identification fields will display. Throughout the newly designed screens, fields which must be completed prior to submitting a screen or process will display a red Required indicator above the field. After pressing Submit, a success message will display at the top of the screen. Next, we will look at the Multiple Request for Entry of Appearance process. You will begin by selecting an attorney from the drop-down menu and pressing Submit. That attorney's claims will display. Check every claim for which you wish to request the entry of appearance, and multiple checkboxes may be selected, or to select all claims, check the box at the top of the grid within the header. If you wish to sort by a specific column in any grid, press the arrows in the column headers. A single arrow will display once selected, and it will point up or down to indicate that the grid is in ascending or descending order by the column header which has been selected. Then, select the attorney for whom you will be entering the appearance. This selection displays as radio buttons, so only one attorney may be selected. Now we will cover the withdrawal of appearance steps. You will begin by checking the boxes for the claims where you wish to withdraw appearance. You may select multiple if needed. Then, press the Save and Continue button. The screen will display the selected claims. To finalize the process, press the Submit button. As you can see, this step of the process is not yet digitally transformed. This will be updated in a future release. On the Manage Matter Access process, you will begin on the List of Matters for Attorney screen. First, check the box or boxes for the matters where the attorney access needs to be updated. Once checked, press the Manage Matter button. In the top grid, you may use the checkboxes to associate or disassociate attorneys to the matters from your law firm. If you wish to select or deselect all of the attorneys in the list, check the box in the column header. Once your selections are made and you press the Update button, a confirmation screen will display the matters and attorneys selected and whether they are gaining or losing access. From here, you must select Yes or No to confirm or cancel the changes. A success message will display to indicate the changes have been saved. In the process for an attorney to associate to a law firm, begin on the Change Profile screen and press the Update Association link. If the attorney is not yet associated to a law firm, the Associate Law Firm screen will only display the field to enter the law firm PIN. Once entered, press Submit and Continue to navigate to the confirmation screen. Additional information about the law firm will display. Verify that the law firm displayed is correct, and then press the Yes button. If the attorney is associated to a different law firm, then radio buttons will display to choose either to only disassociate from the current law firm or to associate to a new law firm. A new feature that will help you complete digitally transformed screens are understanding the field colors. Here, you can see that there is a white field and a gray one. Gray fields are read-only, so no changes may be made to them from this screen. White fields, however, are editable. So in this case, you may enter the law firm PIN into the white field and then press Submit and Continue. This next slide only impacts law firm administrators. They access it from the WCAIS menu by navigating to Admin and then View Attorneys. This screen allows them to view attorneys who are and were previously associated to the law firm. To disassociate an attorney from the law firm, check the box for the attorney or attorneys which you wish to disassociate, and then press the Disassociate button. If you wish to view an attorney's matter list, you can do so by pressing the View icon in the Action column. Many actions in WCAIS will now be indicated with an icon. If you need a description of the action that the icon will complete, hover over the icon and a pop-up will display. Now we will walk through the process to submit a utilization review request. First, you will begin by pressing the Start a New Utilization Review Request button on the UR Request search screen. Next, you will search for the claim you wish to associate to the UR request. There are two ways to go about this. You may either enter information directly into the search bar at the top to find the correct claim, or you may select the Show Advanced Search for Claim link, which will display specific search fields where the information may be entered. Once the correct claim is found, press the Associate button. As mentioned in the overview, WCAIS will use specific colors of buttons to indicate different screen functions in WCAIS. Blue buttons are used to complete a step in the middle of a process, such as, in this case, adding a provider under review. These buttons will often navigate to a different screen to collect information or may display a pop-up window, and then will return to the initial screen. Gray buttons often will be actions such as back, cancel, or clear. These will often remove information that was entered if accidentally pressed, so these have been strategically located on the left of most screens to avoid unintentionally pressing them. Finally, green buttons are the main action on the screen, such as save and continue or submit. In processes with multiple steps, a progress bar will display across the top to indicate which sections are complete, noted with a green check mark, which section is in progress, noted with the blue circle, and which sections are not yet started, as indicated by the gray circle. Additionally, edit and delete icons will display in the Actions column as a pencil and a garbage can. Once the Submit button is pressed, a pop-up window will display asking the submitter to verify if all information is correct. This is an instance where the gray back button will be useful. In order to verify all information, you may press the back button on each step so you may view and verify the entered information. Finally, a confirmation screen will display after submission. This screen may be printed for your records by pressing the Print button. Before completing the request for designation of a physician to perform IRE process, a claim must be associated. This will look the same as when we saw that screen on the UR request section. The same information that is currently required will continue to be necessary prior to submitting the request for designation of a physician to perform IRE. If you attempt to submit a request without filing the mandatory fields, an error message will display next to the field. In this case, it states, "This field is required," and the field will be outlined in red to draw attention to it. If this field is left empty, you will not be permitted to submit. Following a successful submission, a confirmation will display similar to the screen we looked at on the utilization review request process. On the impairment rating evaluation appointment process, you can see what the matter information looks like when it is expanded. If you wish to collapse this section so it would take up less space, the up arrow can be selected beneath it. To view more information about the claim, the plus icon in the upper right corner of the screen can be pressed so that an extra set of details will display beneath the current details. Also, an eye icon will display next to a number of fields and headers. These can be pressed to display a small pop-up which provides additional information about that section. Pressing it a second time will collapse that pop-up. Pressing the Upload Document button will now cause a pop-up window to display where the document can be searched for and uploaded. You may select the document type link once it is uploaded to verify that it is the correct document. If necessary, you may then press the Delete icon in order to remove that document. Here, you can see what the matter information section will look like when collapsed. You are still able to see the claim number. In order to see the expanded section, press Matter Information again. Next, looking at the Redesignate Physician screen, links will display in the Matter Information section. By selecting one of these, you will navigate to the claim summary or the IRE request for designation. This may be helpful if you require additional information prior to filing the redesignation. You will continue to select a reason for which the redesignation needs to occur. These are radio buttons, which means that only one option may be selected. As mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, most items on the WCAIS dashboard will not lead to a digitally transformed screen at this time. An exception is the Search Correspondences link. This will navigate to the Search Correspondences screen, which has been digitally transformed. As a note, on this search, you will have the ability to select dates between which a correspondence has been received. You can either enter the date directly into the text field, or you may press the calendar icon. When you select a date, that date will display inside of a blue circle. There will be another circle on the calendar which is green. This indicates what the current date is. Another new feature of digitally transformed screens is the flexible design. For instance, on this slide, you can see the same search results twice. The top screenshot is the search results on a small screen, whereas the middle screenshot here displays the same search results grid, but on a larger screen. The screens will now adjust to fit the browser size that you are using. Last, once you select the document type link, a View Correspondence screen will display, where you may either select the document title link or the download icon to view the selected document. Next, we will look at the current view of the Change Profile screen. With the current design, the WCAIS menu displays across the top and the enhanced search is static. When scrolling down on any screen, these navigation tools are not accessible unless you scroll to the top again. On the digitally transformed Change Profile screen, you can see that the same information continues to display, but with a new look and feel. Note that the menu has collapsed on the left-hand side. It can still be navigated even when closed. If you hover over an icon, the description of that menu item will display, and you can click through the necessary drop-down selections. Additionally, if you are scrolled down on any digitally transformed screen, you will continue to have access to the enhanced search feature in the upper right corner. Currently, you would need to scroll back to the top to use this feature. In addition, there is a blue up arrow that displays in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen anytime that you are scrolled down on a digitally transformed screen. Pressing this blue arrow will immediately scroll you all the way to the top of the screen. These functions should all serve to make navigating between screens quicker. Now, we will cover important reminders and next steps. As a reminder, the screens will be digitally transformed in November 2022. The PowerPoint presentation we reviewed during the session was distributed via email. In addition, a user experience guide was distributed via email to provide a quick reference for WCAIS users to better understand the new look and feel of the digitally transformed screens. Please review both the presentation and the user experience guide when your schedule permits. If you have any questions regarding WCAIS digital transformation or the new screens, please contact the BWC Helpline or the WCOA Resource Center for assistance.